So, you want to master a Bazaar Day combat, do you? Well, I'd like to welcome you to the unofficial Bazaar combat guide. As someone who's been playing since the December update of last year, I'd like to say at this point I have some decent experience with the game, and I've picked up on some tips along the way. So, I'd like to go over them today. Hopefully once you come out of this video, you'll have more of a grip over your Bazaar battles. Just like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, there are a lot of stands, which also equals a lot of different abilities. In the Bazaar Day, there are 36 different stands to choose from, and that's not including the 9 different specs you can also choose from. When it comes down to choosing your ability, there's really no wrong choice, unless you choose Mr. President. Well, what's wrong with you? A key thing to keep in mind here is just because a stand is rare, doesn't mean it's strong. Don't try and tell me that Monochromatic Purple Haze is stronger than Retro Star Platinum. If I went over each stand here individually, it would take too long, so here are the 3 main groups of stands. Stands like Star Platinum, which require very little effort and give out insane damage. Stands like Neo the World Alternate Universe, which require moderate amounts of effort, but give off great damage output. Then there are stands like Shadow the World, which when mastered can become unkillable, but it's pretty hard to master them. So keep in mind what section your stand fits in when choosing your stand/spec. Anyway, choosing the right spec and stand is really up to you to decide. Don't let anyone tell you what's good and what's bad. Hey, if you want to be a Time Smite spamming Star Platinum Stone Ocean main, so be it. Once you've picked your stand, you need to learn the moves. Honestly, for this, the only advice I can give you is learn it naturally. Look up the moveset on the official Bazaar Day wiki, link in the description, and play with it. Join some tournaments on the official Bazaar Day trading server. Keep fighting until you've learned those moves and how and when to use them. Another amazing tip I have here is never ever forget your left mouse button punch. A lot of people brush off this move, but I remember when I started playing Bazaar Day and I tried to 1v1 a Retro Star Platinum over Heaven with the World over Heaven, I couldn't kill him. He taught me to use my basic punch move more in combat. When I started to do that, I genuinely noticed an increase in my win rate. This is especially important for a stand like the World Over Heaven 2, where your basic punch does 12 damage. Over the fight, that's going to rack up a lot of HP. Something not many people utilize, which surprises me, is the block in the game. You'd think people would use this move a whole lot more for the fact it has an 85% damage reduction and makes it so that you can't be ragdolled, but you'd be wrong. Blocking is one of the most important parts of learning to fight in a Bazaar Day. So please, if your moves are on cooldown or you're just trying to back up from the enemy, please, my only request is that you hold down X. Don't forget a great way to practice combos is on training dummies. Also, if you have a friend you can spar with, that's also a great way to learn. The more you learn and fight with your stand, the better you become over time. Also, never be worried about changing up the way you fight with a stand. There may be a better way. Always remember, during fights, keep a close eye on your opponent. You have much more to worry about during a fight than dealing the most damage as fast as you can. If you can keep track of your opponent, they can keep track of you. Never allow it to be a one-way thing. You need to constantly be trying to think from the perspective of your opponent. What move are they going to do next? When are they going to do it? What really helps is, if you've been playing for a long time, and you have a good idea of most stands in the game, use that to your advantage. If you're fighting a Shadowed World and you've memorized their attack patterns or the stand's moves, your chances of winning are going to skyrocket. Always be one step ahead, be ready to counter any attack you suspect coming. Now you've learnt your stand, your opponent, and even yourself. Now let's move on to some tactics in combat. Something to keep in mind is your stand jump cooldown. This is especially important when fighting a stand equipped with a time stop ability. Also remember to roll. Rolling can be useful, especially when used correctly. Also, don't waste a projectile unless you know it's going to hit. It's going to come back to bite you later when all that's between you and winning is a single long range shot that you used earlier and now you have to wait for the cooldown. Anyway, I hope you found this video informational. I'm going to be linking the official Bazaar Day wiki in the description. It's full of tons of useful information that you can get your hands on for free. Also, if you want examples of fighting with stands, you can check out my Doesn't Suck series in which I take stands that are considered bad, and I show myself using them to my advantage in fights. Thanks for watching, now get out there and win that Manga King Crimson tournament.